Are we ready?
I think so.
Are we recording?
Take two, yeah.
Take two. All right, this is take two.
Everything's recorded.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are the North Carolina Angry Patriots. This is the boss lady, and we are the Angry Patriots.
That's right. We would like to say thank you very much for all the views we got, everybody that has liked our page, shared our videos, and we just hope that you'll continue to watch and hear about our story, because there's a lot that we went through, and there's a lot going on.
Everything happened to me happened to us.
Yeah.
We're a team. You're my wife.
Yeah, it did. But
it's the same
you're
thing.
The one that went to jail and did the...
It's the same thing that happened to your family. If it happens to one of you, it happens to all of you. Whether you like it or not, that's how it goes in life. If you're a true family, if you're a true husband and wife.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
It didn't just cost me money or my freedom. It cost me my freedom, but it cost us our money. It cost me my freedom of gun rights, my Constitution rights, as well as my freedom of walking around, freedom of movement, freedom to make money, freedom to provide for my family, which all states that I'm allowed to do that in the Constitution without any interference of government, state or federal.
Yep.
But they forget about that. The long story short, here again, I got the evidence. These are the three brothers, thugs, that come to my home. But anyway, these are the three thugs who, one of them, Willis D. Hatley, sent word for 2 weeks that he was going to come and drag me out of my house and kill me. Apparently he waited on his two brothers to show up on a beautiful Saturday afternoon like this day, all bright and sunny, and proceeded to try to kill me in my yard. As you can see by the truck that she's going to air on here, you'll see part of the bullet holes. I was shot at 13 times through the windshield of my truck, windshield in the front of my truck, in my driveway. Now, if you read the news article, it says near his residence. But apparently to them, my driveway is just near my residence. But in reality, it was my home. I owned the driveway, and they was told not to come. And they was also told they wouldn't leave the same way they got here if they did come. And I rest you assured they didn't. But what bugged me more than anything, the three brothers don't scare me. They got what they got when they come to my home. But the law enforcement, the dirty pigs who took an oath to uphold my Constitution that's supposed to protect me when people come to my home, talked to me and my wife like a dog, told me to shut my effing mouth. I'm not going to cuss like they did. Ransacked my home, tore all my wife's stuff out of her safe and threw it in the floor. And then 4 days later, they charged me with multiple felonies, knowing for a fact they was not going to get one guilty, sure as hell wasn't going to get one guilty plea out of me. And they wasn't going to get no guilty verdict from no jury. They did it as a mafia organization colluding with law enforcement, judges, DAs, assistant DAs, and most of all the law firms. They all collude together. They all have lunch together. They sit in the same buildings together.
They talk about everybody's cases together.
Oh, they know what your case is way before you ever get to court.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't like you. You stand up for your rights. Yeah, they're going to know what your case is before you ever get to court. And what I mean by that is they're going to know what your verdict's going to be. Whether it's guilty or innocent, or you forced to plead guilty. But this is just the beginning. We had to retake the first video. It's all mafiaism here in Stanley County, and I'm pretty sure it's like that in every county. Sheriff's departments were supposed to uphold your rights and your Constitution for your vote in order to be elected for sheriff, but they don't. The minute they get elected, they go to work for the courthouses, and they don't care. They don't care what your rights are, man.
Mm-mm.
And I can prove it.
No.
But
well, we could talk about all kinds of stuff where more people have rights than regular citizens.
Well, it ain't just talking about it. We can show it.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between some people and all people is some people take a little extra time to video, audio, just to get evidence.
Paper.
But this is our second video. And our second video is going to show the truck that I used. Yeah, me personally. I used to defend my family. I used it as a weapon. Yeah, I rammed them head on, but only after I was shot at twice. Through their windshield into mine. Then I ran them head on. And then they shot at me 11 more times. Mm-hmm. They shot at me 10 more times through the windshield, and then the driver got out and took another shot. But she's going to show the videos. We're going to show the pictures of the three thugs. Then we're going to show the dirty prosecutor who decided that he was going to take my freedom for standing up for my rights. And Americans, remember one thing. Law enforcement cannot protect you unless they're accidentally there when the crime happens against you.
We are the first responders to crimes that are happening against us. And the way that goes is you have to take up for yourself. You can't sit and go, oh, hold on, let me call law enforcement real quick. They'll be here in about 30, 45 minutes after you call, if nobody puts you on hold.
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
call
that's a lot. That's a
911.
big habit here in Stanley County now. You'll get put on hold.
I think that's happening a lot across the United
Well,
States.
yeah, but I'm complaining about. I can't change what's happening in Washington or California or Chicago or New York. But if I can get enough American patriots to stand beside me, and I don't want nobody to stand behind me. Well, if they can stand behind me, I'll be the first one in line. I don't want nobody to stand in front of me. But if I can get enough people to stand behind me, I'll change North Carolina. That's a guaranteed fact.
And we have to start in our small towns. It doesn't start out in Washington. It starts with the people that we elect in our small towns and move them up the little ladders. And people think that because you know somebody in law enforcement or you know a judge and they're supposed to be this upstanding person, you've obviously never seen what really goes on with some of the law enforcement, the corrupt judges. I mean, look at what's going on with Trump. Same things happening all over America in small town. All these judges do is get tired of being in small towns and dealing with small town stuff, and they want to work their way up the ladder. Well, you've got this corrupt person that started out in a small town and has made it up the ladder, so then that's where the corruption in the swamp comes in up in D.C. Yeah. We got plenty of swamps in our own counties and states that need to be shook up and accounted. They need accountability.
Well, for an example, when you have deputy sheriffs to show up on a crime scene, now crime scene to me is any kind of a crime. Whether you're stealing, you robbing somebody, you ram somebody with your car or truck, or you shot somebody because you're mad, a crime's a crime. And law enforcement's job is to uphold the laws of that crime. Which means if I'm guilty of a crime, I go to jail. Don't matter who sent me out there to do it, because after someone sent me, they're supposed to go to jail. Aiding and abetting, right or wrong, don't know. I'm not a lawyer, I am a patriot. I know if I drive my wife to the bank to rob it, I'm just as guilty as she is. I'm going to jail with her.
Right.
Right? Wrong.
Yeah.
When a politician,
probably get more time than me.
I'm sure I will. But when a politician sends somebody that works for them in their office or their family members out to steal property that don't belong to them, then that politician should go to jail with the person who stole the property. But in this case, we're going to show how law enforcement protect the people that was sent out by prosecutors to steal property from people that did not want politicians or prosecutors to become a judge because they're dirty. Now, the prosecutor's word was, he didn't think my sign should be put out because I wasn't campaigning against nobody. When in fact, I was campaigning against somebody. I was campaigning against the dirty prosecutor who charged me with multiple felonies. Again, because these three brothers come to my home and try to murder me in my yard, and I got in a gunfight with them before I rammed them with my truck in my driveway. And I felt like if he was going to do me this way, how many other people is he put in jail as a prosecutor? And how many people is he going to send to prison as a judge?
Absolutely.
He don't need to be a judge. He don't need to be a prosecutor. He don't need to work for the American taxpayers. And frankly, my opinion, he should be sitting in a steel cage rotting. But that's my opinion. But like I said.
Well, the thing about that is you have these people out here and things that they do to us and rights that they violate, and they want to take people to jail and tell it to the judge.
It's a mafia
people
system.
don't have money to be dealing with that. For one, if you miss work, then you're losing money. You're giving your money to the state. And the sad part about the whole thing is anybody can go down to the magistrate's office and take a warrant out on anybody for anything. And they're going to send a deputy out to arrest that person. That person could have not even been in the state at that point in time.
They don't care.
But it doesn't matter. Tell it to the judge. Take your evidence to the judge.
Well, when you got the judges, the DAs, the law enforcement, and the lawyers who's supposed to protect the people that's being targeted from the DAs and law enforcement, all sitting in the same building, eating lunch, buying each other lunch, figuring out which cases in better favor of which one. Well, I'd really like for this case to go in my favor, Mr. Lynn Claude Felton. Well, that's fine, Patrick Curry. I'll make sure it goes in your favor. We won't push this one. But this one over here, I want this one. You're going to have to let me find this one guilty, Patrick Curry. That's no problem, Lynn Claude Felton. You just make sure this client don't get found guilty. Dismiss his charges.
Right. Don't forget about the attorney that we had spoke to that said you could possibly get him for, a court-appointed attorney. But then he said, you're going to get what you pay for.
Well, in my case, I didn't even get what I paid for.
So that right there tells you, and I'm pretty sure we have him on video stating that too.
Oh, well.
That pretty much tells you that if you're court-appointed, you're not going to get the best out of your attorney. He's just not putting his best foot forward to help you. Even though us as taxpayers are actually paying this attorney for that person that can't do that. Oh,
that's my emergency bus.
It must be batteries are dying. Yeah. Just that's what you get with electric vehicles.
Exactly right. Yeah, go vote for green energy and get your electric bus, and you'll be sitting up here on the top shelf like that one is.
Yeah, my power's dying. Gotta recharge it. It only takes about 3 hours.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry about that.
It just comes down to the fact, American patriots, you got two choices in this country. You just seen the videos if you was watching news this morning of all the middle-aged fighting men being dropped off at the motels and hotels in New York, California, Chicago. We're being invaded. Law enforcement does not care.
Shooters with no license plates. It's like they got a new intake. No, it's public. Yeah, I'm with media. Real America's Voice. Are you? Well, you then go inside. Then you got to go inside, man. Outside, I can film. Yes, I can, man. It's public. Where are you from?
I work here.
Okay. Who do you work for? Well, you don't have to. But when you're outside in public, what's that? I'm covering what's happening here at the hotel. So I'm just filming it for the news I work for. Do you guys work for an organization? Okay, no English. Thanks, man. We're bringing more in. We're at the Roosevelt Hotel. You've got all these scooters, some stolen, no license plate, all parked illegally on the street. This whole hotel, 400 plus rooms. Just coming down to show you the impact of what Biden's doing on our southern border. How you doing, man? Did you work here? No? Almost all fighting age men. Senegal? Mauritania? No camera? Okay. Senegal, Mauritania? Senegal, okay. So this whole thing, actually this was a restaurant too. It's been taken over, converted to part of the processing. All of this, guys, this is the new Democrat industry of illegal immigration. Millions and millions and millions of dollars going into it. Senegal? No? Mauritania? Somalia? Somali? Somali, okay. Okay. We got Somali there. You guys have operations here? Is it federal or state operations? Yeah, I can. I can be on any sidewalk, bro. It's still America. I mean, if we're going to allow people to invade our country, I can stand on the sidewalk in America. So he says I can't be here. I can't be. Oh, that's even better. So won't let me in the building. Now he's trying to say I can't even stand in front of the building on the public sidewalk. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's what our country's turned into, guys. American citizen, can't do it. Legal alien, come on in. Huh? Oh. So they don't want me filming. They're selling drugs. Apparently they don't want that on camera. Got these guys here. We got these guys over here. These guys are the drug dealers over here. They didn't want me filming that. They're distributing right now. They don't want that on camera apparently. You got drugs out in the open. You got hundreds of people coming through per day. That guy just picked up his joint. So that's the money-making operation here. There you go. Buying as we speak. Well done, Democrats. So these are all the scooters with no license plates.
They're going home to pay their bills. They don't care. If they did, they wouldn't set up license checks in American suburb neighborhoods while they avoid illegal immigrant trailer parks in neighborhoods. And that being said, we're gonna keep on with what we're doing with the North Carolina Angry Patriots, as well as the NCAP news that's fixing to hit the streets on the beat. And
our feet on the beat.
That's right. If they're gonna talk the talk, we're gonna walk the walk. See what they got to say. So
see how everybody responds to having to be accountable.
well, they're not going to be held accountable unless the American citizens hold them accountable.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
talking
might
about.
get one in a blue moon, one politician that wants to look good, throw one of his thug soldiers under the bus, prosecute them. And I know everybody wants to call law enforcement heroes, but they're not heroes. By no means is law enforcement heroes. They get paid to do a job. If they run into a gunfight, that's their job. They get paid to do it. If I climb a 10-story building to roof it, that's what I got paid to do. Don't make me a hero. Heroes voluntarily save people's lives. They don't ride around getting paid every day. They do it voluntarily. In my case, I was attacked, shot at 13 times. Nobody saved my life. I did. Well, excuse me.
I have a story to go with that. I can't remember the guy's name that went in and saved those little kids in Sound of Freedom movie. But here's a for instance. He's a true hero. You know what? Our government, if you've never seen the movie, our government was just going to give up on these kids and not try to find them. And this guy worked for...
Our government's the one selling them, most likely.
Yeah. Anyway, our government was going to just stop the funding for this guy to go find these kids and said it's out of their jurisdiction and da-da-da. And he worked for Homeland Security. And he took it upon himself to quit his job 5 months before he got full retirement benefits to go save these children. Our government doesn't even care about all our children that are getting missing. This guy's a hero, but our government's not. They were going to just let these kids go. And he said, well, I'm going to save these kids. And that's a hero.
The biggest threat to our country is people who take an oath to uphold the Constitution and don't even know it.
That's not.
Yeah. The Constitution's not going to get me anywhere, right? Constitution.
I don't
that's
give
all
a
care
damn.
about.
You and your Constitution, you can stick. We dealt with him at the library yesterday, and he asked.
Which means our government, whether it's from the lowest law enforcement up to the highest politician. They don't know the Constitution. They don't intend to uphold it. They're going to do whatever they're told to do to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
pay their bills.
Well, you had that one guy at a rally tell us that. We had a rally, and
Yeah.
so
He was a retired
conversation.
law enforcement officer. His exact words was, well, we got to go home and pay our bills.
Yeah.
Like I told him, your bills don't trump my Constitution. They don't. This newspaper's it's a junk paper. So let me put it that way. They don't care about the truth. They knew what it was. They knew I lived at this address. They knew it was a private driveway. But yet they put it in the paper as near my residence. It was in my front yard on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. These people never went to jail because I refused to plead guilty to a crime. Frankly, I was just defending my life. Instead, I become a target. Ever since then, every 2 to 3 years or every 6, 8 months, I'm targeted with something. And it's been that way for 15 years. I've been forced out of 2 businesses, 3 if you count the construction work from the illegal immigrants. I've been arrested multiple times after I was attacked and assaulted. Law enforcement sat and watched me get my ass whooped, excuse my language, watched me get jumped. And then took me to jail. So me and my wife is doing this for a simple fact. Somebody has to start standing up for the Constitution. And voting in Washington ain't going to change it.
And we don't have, honestly, thousands of dollars just to give to an attorney that says I may or may not be able to help you. Now that's constitutionalist attorneys.
What they tell you got a little off there. What they tell you is I'm going to win. You don't have to worry about nothing until you pay them the money. And then when you pay them the money, and you start saying, well, they did this and they did that. Then they all say, well, that's in a relevant to this case. You can't use that, what they did 6 months ago in this case. You can't even bring it up. But yet what you did 50 years ago, they will bring up against you. They want everybody in their system so they can control everybody. If you're not in their system, they're going to figure out a way to put you in it. Especially if you're a patriot. I don't even call Tea Parties patriots no more. If you're a patriot and you stand up against them, they will do whatever they have to put you down. So, and that being said, we're going to move on a little bit, and we're going to put all the pictures on here, the evidence. Just in this is nothing. This is just a little nothing.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah,
to show the beginning stages of all the bullshit. Sorry, but all the bullshit that we've dealt with. And this county, I've had people tell me that if I try to expose it and put it out there on like social media pages, they go, well, if you don't like it here, then why don't you move? It seems like people would want to know more about why there's so much corruption in the courthouse and want to hear people's stories instead of attacking them, because we have stories to tell of why we got targeted and why it started. Goes from a shooting in the driveway with a prosecutor that just wanted 4 people to plead guilty and they wouldn't, so he let them go, into us putting out campaign signs.
So that was my deal for being shot at 13 times through the front of my truck, most of them through the windshield, is I either plead guilty or nobody goes to jail.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They get away with premeditated attempted murder, shooting from an occupied vehicle into an occupied vehicle, under possession of alcohol and drugs while in possession of a firearm. I know for a fact one of them was a convicted felony, and they walked. They didn't pull a day in jail for the simple fact I refused to plead guilty for a piece of shit, dirty district attorney who refused to uphold my constitutional rights, along with the dirty sheriffs, the dirty detective, all of them, everybody that was involved in it, including the lawyers. Because now I know they wasn't really going to stand up for my rights at all. I know all the lawyers I hired. I got 90% of them on hidden audio and video. We're going to release all the tapes we got. Well, the most important parts of them. If anybody wants to check the contents of them, we'd be glad to meet them. We'll show them the receipts, the lawyers, the law firms we went to. Dirty judges, dirty law enforcement. I mean, it ain't we don't have the evidence against citizens out trying to attack people. We don't care what citizens doing. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have none of the evidence. I wouldn't have the court transcripts. And by the way, one transcript, the judge actually admits herself that the simple reason she's finding me guilty, she has nobody else to find guilty. I was the only person charged. And that was when I was attacked and assaulted in my parking lot of my business by 3 thugs who worked for the politician. Mm-hmm. They wanted the building to run a gambling ring, and they got it.
Yep, for 3 years.
Yeah, for 3 years.
It's a later story. This has got a lot.
That's a lot. What we said. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
It goes on and on and on. And the main reason is because I won't lay down. I won't bow down. I'd rather die in my driveway or in the streets fighting for my Constitution, for your Constitution, against corruption, against thugs, against Hezbollah, whoever. I don't care. And with that being said, 90% of this was law enforcement's fault because their job was to arrest the people who tried to attack me and then uphold my Constitution. But instead, they don't work for us no more. It don't matter if we vote them in. They work for the politicians, deep state government, and like you know as well as I do, deep state ain't just in Washington. Mm-mm. It's in every courthouse, every state, every county. For an example, ATF comes to your neighborhood and says we're going to disarm everybody. The sheriff you voted in might say, I'm not going to enforce that law. That may be true, but he's not going to stop ATF from doing it. Mm-mm. He's not going to stop the FBI. He's not going to stop the city police. No. He might resign and step to the side, but he ain't going to stop the other ones from violating your rights. And that's his solely job before the rules got changed in how to run for sheriff. Yeah. You used to be a citizen that you could run for sheriff, but they don't realize people like me and her run for sheriff. We're not going to allow dirty corruption. We're going to start locking up politicians, prosecutors, judges, dirty law enforcement.
Nobody's above the law.
As well as people committing crimes in the streets, especially illegal immigrants. You're not safe in this neighborhood as far as being protected. If one of us was to be sheriff, you would be some of the first ones deported. Excuse me. With that being said, anybody who protects illegal immigrants, aid and abets illegal immigrants, should be arrested too. Yeah. They're committing crimes. But
well, I can just throw this out there too, that did a redress of grievance to Mark Robinson. So
oh, yeah.
Our lieutenant governor, we'll get to that later because he is no help at all to the citizens of this.
You got it on tape.
State.
He's a liar.
We'll get that. We'll get to him later.
Oh, he got a lot.
But just so you know, when everybody's talking about doing your redress of grievances and everything, and I did a lot of investigation on it, and apparently it doesn't really mean anything to our elected
well, it's supposed to mean something.
Or to any politician that was sitting in that room when I did it, because we became a really big target, and that's really the whole reason of why we decided to do all this, and just put it all together and put it out there, because you can't afford attorneys and they're really not going to help you and not being a target. So we have this, we got evidence that we're talking about them, and so if anything happens to us and you don't see us,
yeah, we're not going to commit suicide. So if something happens to us, Stanley County Department of Justice did it.
So and we're going to expose everybody that we have ran into.
We're going to expose everybody we can run into.
The process and all the laws, the lawyers that have lied, all the
they are
corruption in the courthouse mafia.
They are no fair system.
That's what we call them.
It is, but it is the courthouse mafia. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least the mafia let you keep 50-60% of your business.
I mean, you got the alphabet gang that wants to come in, and you go buy permits to open a business, because like I've been in the bar and restaurant business for pretty much all my life, and the alphabet I talk about is what we call here in North Carolina is ALE, Alcohol Law Enforcement. And just like every other police officer, they are so trained to lie. They lie,
They're
they
nothing
lie,
but
they
thugs.
lie. They come into a bar that people pay lots of money to run, into a restaurant, may have alcohol. Oh, I think the ALE's doing the lottery now. They're over the lottery. I guess since we were forced out of poker machine business,
Well, they took it
they
over.
took over the lottery.
Yeah,
So, but they go in there and they lie to people. They threaten them. They intimidate them. They tell them they're going to lock them up over things that they can't even lock them up for.
it's not even a law. Don't even have a case number with it.
And I've had to, go all the way to writing in letters and go back from the city attorney to this person, and they don't work for this person, and they just shift it around because they all try to protect each other in their own little system.
Yeah, they got that. What's that? Organized crime. That's right. Organized crime's what they call it. That's what they call it when we do it.
Yeah.
It's called justice when they do it, but it's organized crime when we do it.
Yeah. They go in 10 deep, block your doors, won't let anybody in or
Go
out.
in the women's bathroom, searching women.
Start tearing up your stuff. I have one customer that they went into his building, and the reason they wanted to search it was because they said he ran too great of a business.
He had too much customers. He couldn't stay in business. He couldn't have stayed in business operating legally.
Yeah.
Legally. They just didn't realize that the man had money pit up for when he was losing money, he could survive.
Well, they went in and on a Friday afternoon and started tearing ceiling tiles out of his bathroom.
In the middle of his business
In
now.
the middle of business hours, like, you're a bunch of thugs. That's what you are. You don't come in and talk to people like we're business owners. We are people. We pay a lot of money for these businesses, for these alphabet gang members to come around and go into businesses and act like thugs.
Well, they shouldn't exist.
No, they shouldn't. They should be dismantled and just
City-
done away with.
the
They
city
should not
law
be
enforcement
funded.
should only be to keep crime off the streets. The sheriff's department's job is to keep the American citizens from being targeted by the people committing crimes on the streets and their government.
Well, ALE, alcohol law enforcement.
We don't
they
need
should
ALE.
No, they should only be able to go do the state-funded stores that we do.
I'd like for someone to answer me a question. How come we have all these government agencies, IRS, ATF, alcohol law enforcement, ABC,
The FBI,
environmental health, the FBI,
CIA.
but we have not one agency, not one armed agency or unarmed agency that actually upholds the Constitution of the United States or even knows the Constitution of the United States.
Constitution Enforcement Agency is what we need.
Exactly, street division,
Yeah.
special victims unit.
Yeah.
When
Absolutely.
when a call goes off and a person's having their rights violated, you make a phone call to them, they show up. If law enforcement's violating somebody's rights, we arrest them, we take their gun and badge. They never become law enforcement in any agency. They don't work for government no more. And if any law enforcement attempts to protect them, we arrest them. We take their gun and their badges and their police cars. Eventually, the American people ain't got no choice but to stand up and uphold our own Constitution. Because law enforcement ain't going to do it. The politicians ain't going to do nothing but take it. So the only other people's left is us. Hezbollah coming over here sure as hell ain't going to uphold it. They coming over here for one reason, and their government's allowing it.
Well, you got these law enforcement officers that, and we've been seeing a lot of it on videos that we've been watching, and a lot of them are out there just violating Americans' rights all over this country, and even people that I've talked to. And the thing is so my uncle had a problem with one and was being a target of him because he didn't agree with what this law enforcement officer, they just couldn't agree and see eye to eye on things, and he started targeting my uncle, and this is in a whole nother county. So my uncle's telling me about it, and he said, well, he wanted him off that force. He wanted his job. And so the attorney that he had went and told the guy that, said, he wants your job. He told him, said, well, tell him not to worry about spending his money. I've already turned in my resignation. So my uncle said, yeah, sir, he's off in another county working somewhere. I said, so he just took his corruption to another county was all he
Exactly right.
did. And that's what we're finding out from doing a lot of investigation and videos and stuff that we've seen, where these police are out here violating our rights all over the streets, and they lie to you because they're ignorant, because they don't even know what the Constitution
They don't
is.
care. They got a
They
job.
don't care, yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
Anybody coming in?
The Constitution's not going to get me anywhere, right? Constitution.
I
That's
don't
all I
give a
care
damn.
about.
You and your
Yeah.
Constitution, you can stick. We dealt with them at the library yesterday, and he asked. Anybody coming in?
The Constitution's not going to get me anywhere, right? Constitution.
I
That's
don't
all
give
I
a
care
damn.
about.
You and your Constitution, you can stick. We dealt with them at the library yesterday.
This is one example. You look at how one state banned vending machines, poker machines. Now, you call them whatever you want. I call them poker machines. But one state banned it. So we're not going to allow women not being able to pay their bills because their husbands out all weekend gambling their money away. But when they banned it, they put in the lottery tickets, which tells you lobbyists paid somebody to ban these people's business. Then it went from state to state to state to state, state to state, until every one of them pretty much forced all the vendors out of business, let in the lottery, and now what they're doing. They're running North Carolina Keno poker machines. Come and have a beer and burger and play Keno. Same thing vendors did. That's what I mean when I say mafia. It should not be okay for the state of North Carolina or any other state to operate vending machines after they forced the American citizens out of vending machines.
Yes, sir.
Don't make it, to me, it don't make a damn what you call a vending machine. You can call them pot of golds, or you can call them golden pots, or you can call them a rock sitting in a driveway. I don't care. The politicians have no legal right to sign laws to take your business, and they sure as hell don't have the right to use law enforcement as mafia muscle to do it. And law enforcement know that, but they don't care. They go home and pay their bills. They take care of their family. They get to ride around in a tax-paying police car. They get a credit card to pay for all the gas. They get to carry their gun. And I'm curious, I wonder if we went around knocking police's doors down, raiding their homes, how many illegal weapons would we find in police's houses?
Oh.
How much ammunition would we find stocked up in a stockpile of a police's house?
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's way more illegal guns in a police's house than there are in an American citizen's house.
Yeah.
But they don't care. They just don't care. Then it's got to come to an end. And if we keep on waiting, we're going to be outnumbered. We're about outnumbered now. I mean, it's coming to the point of you got two choices: stand up and admit the truth, or just
Illegal
surrender.
Intruders coming in here. Of course,
Illegal
we're getting
intruders.
outnumbered. Yeah.
Have you seen Ben this morning? That one motel had 1,000 rooms. They didn't just put 1,000 immigrants in it. They put 5 immigrants or 10 in each room,
Per room.
or
Right.
10 or 15 in each room.
Right.
So therefore, you got 1,000 rooms that's got 5,000 immigrants in it.
Mm-hmm.
Intruders. But where I was going with that, you could see the videos. None of them were women and children.
No,
All of
they're
them were middle-aged and terrorists fighting
white
men.
men.
And this is another thing.
Fighting
I'm calling
men.
on this to be done immediately by the American people. We hold all politicians in each state accountable for the crimes committed by an illegal immigrant. We hold all sheriffs in each state, in each city accountable for the crimes committed by an illegal immigrant. We hold all police officers accountable. And I don't mean accountable by doing an internal investigation by the same people who sent them out to break the damn law. Did you vote and you got screwed out of your election, no matter what anybody says. And by the way, people, we had the North Carolina Angry Patriots Cup. Just send us an email and we'll send you a list. But we as American patriots, as American middle-aged fighting, wife and husband, American patriots, we're tired of it. We're sick and tired of law enforcement riding around policing us while illegal immigrants are doing all the work, driving all the work trucks, the roofing, framing, siding, concrete, you name it, bulldozers. And we're going to be releasing all these videos. I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't care, they're just doing jobs. Americans are too lazy. If the Americans are too lazy to do it, let them starve. Don't take my taxpaying dollars and feed them. I don't give a damn about them no more. I care about me and this woman here and the rest of American patriots. No one's going to uphold your Constitution but you. I upheld mine in the driveway, and I went to jail for it. And that's what y'all got to do. That's what, as American patriots, if we don't stand up for our country, we ain't never going to have it.
Nope.
Ever. Say what you want to. You can say I'm a
Your kids.
white supremacist, or I hate blacks and I hate whites and I hate everybody that comes to this country and trashes it. Yeah, I hate them. If you hate America, I hate you. I don't care if you're an American. If you hate this country and you hate this flag, I hate you. Plain and simple. And I don't believe you can be reprogrammed. They are no reprogramming idiots. You hear me, Hillary Clinton? They are no reprogramming you. You're a dumb bitch. Now you want to finish
That's
talking?
right.
I get carried away when I see these people. They don't care about this country. They don't care about the American citizens. They want to destroy this country, and they got it all in their heart to destroy it. And the law enforcement's the one allowing it to happen. They're the ones
really
protecting
sad.
the people that's doing it.
Yeah, and it's really sad because there are people that came over here and are trying to be American citizens the right way and get their status the right way. And
Like I say, all that being said, we just shoot in the mud. About the Constitution, about law enforcement upholding people's rights, politicians taking bribes, lobbyists, all that I meant from the bottom of my heart. Nothing never changed how I feel about them. Not anymore. I didn't used to feel this way, and you know that.
I do. And he would buy them, he would go into restaurants if they were in there and buy them lunch, buy them breakfast, buy them supper, whatever. And not even tell them, just go take their ticket and pay for their lunch. And
Well, like I said, you know, the truth's the truth, and I didn't used to feel this way, and you know it. Nah, I wouldn't buy a nail to nail the coffin shut. And it's their fault. I didn't go out attacking law enforcement. I didn't come to their business and rob them and take their money and their property without warrants, before they was found guilty by a jury. I didn't do none of that.
you didn't sit out there and watch them being beat up and not try to intervene and stop like they did you.
Be as that, if I seen an officer being attacked by 3 people, even if I got killed, I'd have jumped in and helped them.
Right.
Regardless of what happened to me, I'd have jumped in and helped them. But not anymore. Not anymore. It's not impossible for the American people to stand up and take this country back. It will be if you keep sitting on your ass and waiting. But it's not impossible right now. It can be done. And you got to remember in 1776, I mean, it took 2 people to fire the first bullets, but then we took the country back.
Speaking of 1776, our email address is North Carolina Angry Patriots 1776 @gmail.com.
And that's a good one.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's all good. I forgot to mention that.
You mentioned 1776.
As well as our sponsor, Doggone Fishing, pettoys.com. It's the best pet toy your pet will ever have, as well as you. You don't have to leave home to go fishing, and you don't have to go outside to have fun with your pets.
That's right.
All you got to do is sit on the couch and go fishing. You wear your bait out, we'll send you another bait. All you got to do is just let us know.
Doggone Fishing, no
You will learn to spell fishing. You just mentioned the word fishing. This song, you're going to go fishing before the night's over. Or she's not going to leave you alone. One of the two.
Anyway, if you have any comments or questions or anything, want to know anything about us, put them in the comments and we'll try to pull them up the next time and answer any questions. Or
If you're a live social media person or you're on the news and you'd like to talk to us about it, you can reach out to, what's the email? Angry Patriots,
North
North Carolina Angry Patriots.
1776 @gmail.com.
Yeah, 1776 @gmail.com. And we'll get back to you just as soon as we read it.
And we'll put the email in the links.
Yeah. And like I say, we're going to stay on this. We're not going to stop. It don't matter. One way or another, the truth's going to be told. Everything's going to be exposed. And frankly, I want justice.
And frankly, I just want people to realize that this could very easily happen to anyone.
Well, it's going to happen to
So-
everyone eventually if people don't stand up. We're not the only people that's getting targeted. It's like you said, you know it's going to happen to other people. You know it's going to.
Yeah.
You sure are pretty, little angry boss lady.
Okay.
But more than anything, I love sitting right beside this woman right here. She is my heart and soul.
All right.
And I will fight for her Constitution, make no mistake.
So,
With that being said, we're going to sign off. Don't forget your North Carolina Angry Patriot.
all our stuff's right there.
Yep, it's got all of our stuff right here.
TikTok, Rumble, Instagram, X, Facebook, and Getter. We are on.
Do we sell these?
I do.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how much they are, but it's to help support our Patriot.
They do come with straws.
Yeah, they do come with straws, but it's to help us keep going. We're not looking to get rich or nothing. We're looking to expose everything that's been done to us. And frankly, hope to build an organization to keep it from being done to anybody else. That's my goals.
And if things have been done to you that you want to talk about, definitely hit us up. We're looking for guests that would like to share their stories. So,
Yep. And that being said,
signing off.
signing
Take
off.
2.
Peace.